Welcome and thank you for coming and watching my video. Today I'm going to be doing a layout of a picture. Well, it's actually a screen capture that I took of my phone when I went to Disneyland last time. So the hottest and latest and greatest ride at Disney is Rise of the Resistance. And in order to get on the ride, you had to go through this crazy board. They call it a boarding group. So you had to show up first thing in the morning, and I did all kinds of research because there were all kinds of like tips and tricks. Because on my last trip to Disneyland, I was there about a week after it opened. And so there was, I mean, everyone was just going crazy for it. So there's tips and tricks and where to stand and how to have your phone and all that kind of stuff. And it was crazy and it was fun. And so I really wanted to document that experience. And so I, as you saw, went through a Star Wars paper pad. I believe I got it at Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby, one of the big box stores, probably I think Michael's. And it is full of Star Wars themed papers. And they have a bunch of different patterns for each of the different, they have multiple copies of each of the different papers, I should say. And I'm using a cut file here. The cut file I purchased, but I actually did get it as part of the Creative Cuts Club, which is so awesome. So the Creative Cuts Club is a monthly cut file club, but they give you the pre-cut files. So the way it works is every single month you're going to get pre-cut files in the mail, which is super helpful for anyone who actually does not have a cutting machine. I do, and I purchased this. I had thought maybe I would use red here, right? Because it felt too plain, but then that blue is perfect. And so I tried that out. I loved it. I have that little star there that managed to cut off a little bit when I cut it with my silhouette, but this was the perfect solution. So it didn't look weird. You saw there that I kind of looked and saw if I cut it off, would it be fine? But no, it really did need that last star. So now I'm using just a glue pen and barely putting on part of it there. So I didn't want to totally adhere to the whole thing. I probably should have, because later it gets to be a little bit of a mess while I'm trying to figure out how to put this all together. The little bits and pieces of the cut file, I really should have just put it down before doing all of this, but I didn't, so say la vie. So I'm cutting it down a little bit. Here you will see cutting off a little bit from the side and the bottom to put on that Star Wars paper with Chewie, although I am going to be covering up pretty much all but his little feet. And his little feet don't matter. So you'll see I did not cut off enough. So I'm going back, cutting off just a little bit, and it works perfect. I'm very happy with it. So I'm adhering the back with my regular, I used the Tombow adhesive runner here. Just a little bit on the sides. The Star Wars paper, like I said, I got it from Michael's, I'm almost positive. And as a result of that, it's one of those paper pads, and so it's not thick paper by any means. But it works this way just fine. So now that's all screwy, so I have to lift it up a little bit, re-adhere some pieces, and then go back over. I try and make it straight. I am almost positive that I fail, but as you'll see at the end of the video, it looks fine when I am done. I'm not good at making anything straight. I have a T-square, and I should probably use that T-square more, but I don't. So when I put it on the layout, something I did want to preserve was because it was a screen grab from my phone. I wanted to preserve the time because the time says it says 8:01. And the only reason why that's significant is because you couldn't get in to make the reservation for the boarding group until 8 a.m. And it was this whole big frenzy. And so the fact that I got it and did all the things and fast fingers and all that stuff, did all of that by 8:01, I think was something pretty impressive. And I worked hard. So again, you get to see here me almost in a futile effort sticking down all of these stars. I should have done it before, but I didn't because I wanted it to be easily positioned. Lesson learned. All I'm doing is cutting off that last little tip of the star where it meets up, and I think it actually looks really good. I'm very, very happy with it. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding a few little embellishments. So something you're going to notice about most of my videos is I use very, very, very few embellishments. Sometimes I don't even use any embellishments. So these are just stars that I received as part of a Studio Calico kit a long time ago. So they're just silver hearts. I probably just said stars. They're hearts. They are hearts. And you will see like a asterisk stuck to one of the hearts. That was actually by accident. I found, it had like fallen off the adhesive and stuck together that way, and I actually really liked it. So, sometimes they're happy accidents. Same thing with this. We're just taking all of these adhesive hearts. I'm putting extra adhesive because they are a bit old, right? So, like I said, I got these in a Studio Calico kit. The Studio Calico kits I haven't gotten in a long time. They don't even do the scrapbooking kits anymore. So that kind of tells you. And so I added some extra adhesive because we know sometimes things don't really stick the way that they are meant to. You will also see, as I do now, that photo is not straight. The best laid plans. So this is my drawer that I keep all of my enamel dots in. So it's actually meant to be, I believe, like a makeup holder. I bought it on Amazon a while ago. I think last year sometime. And it has 3 vertical drawers and then 2 tinier drawers on the top. It's perfect. I have all kinds of different things in there, and it has so far worked really good as a way to keep my enamel dots. So I just keep them on that drawer. The drawer easily comes out. I added some enamel dot stars. They fit perfectly in those stars. So I was super happy with that. Put little red enamel dots around there. I believe I put another yellow one. So just scattered those around. And now we come in with my title. So I don't remember where these came from or what collection or anything, but they are rather old. So I couldn't think of a title initially, which is why you might notice that my outfit has changed. So I couldn't think of a title. Like I wanted something Star Wars-ish, but I didn't, like nothing really popped out. So I took some time. I thought about it. I actually asked around, got some inspiration and advice, and decided to do Hope, because, A New Hope and all that stuff. And then the ride itself is Rise of the Resistance. So what I'm doing is I'm actually pointing out all of the letters for resistance to make sure that I have all of the letters. I like to do that because I don't like when I get through and then find out that I'm missing a letter, especially something where I can't do some kind of alphabet surgery to turn one letter into a different letter. So I'm spelling out there at the bottom, starting backwards to forwards, and there was no trick to it. The text there on that screen grab says resistance. So I kind of cheated, right? And so I was able to go backwards with my title and spell out resistance. And I think that these letters were really perfect for what I was doing. They didn't need to stick out too much, but I did like that I kept it the black and white, and that kind of the only little pops of color that I have are related to the photo and a little bit of the embellishment. And I get to use up more letter stickers. So I'm finding more and more that with my thickers that a lot of them are partially used because I've had them for a long time. And so it's very fortunate when I can find a set that has the S's and T's and A's and E's and all that kind of stuff still intact. And there are a lot of high profile letters on this one, right? So I have the R, the S, the T, the A, the E, all good. So the title comes out, laying it all down, trying to keep everything straight. Again, straight, not my forte. I should have probably used my T-square, but I didn't. So sometimes we just wing it. It actually came out good. I'm actually very happy with the way that this whole layout turned out. Now, the next part that you're going to see, I've put down resistance and I put down hope, and I thought I would add some additional color right there with some green alpha stickers, and it didn't work. It doesn't look good. I thought maybe I'd do some orange because the little bot guy. Thought maybe green to go along with the matte. Once I put these down, I don't like them, so I didn't. So I changed them up. You'll see here in the final photo, right there, that I changed it to white